Welcome to the Once Upon a Sunday Fantasy Football Podcast with your hosts, Josh Kimmel, Dave Campbell, and Justin Bauerle.
Hey, welcome to the show. I'm your host, Josh, with me, Justin, and Dave, of course. What is going on, my guys? We are OUS Fantasy Football Podcast, and we are here with our starts and sits of the week. I love how we've transitioned into no longer just like we're telling you to start this guy versus this guy. We're like actually talking through it, coming to decisions as a group. I'm so sorry I let these guys talk us into Tua last week. I tried telling you guys. I tried.
You act like you finished as like the 31st quarterback.
It was
calm
Tua
down.
or Gardner Minshew.
I was going to say, but to
and
be
we were
fair,
right.
But to be fair, it was versus Gardner Minshew.
Yes.
And Dave, shut up.
I'm not going to shut up. Because you made the right decision by starting him.
But he still sucked.
First of all, he wasn't that bad. You said he was a QB 15? Okay. Yeah, but he was a QB 25.
Everyone's acting like he's an instant start top 5 no matter what. That's a fact.
Yes, you start him every week. Fact. 100%. You got to take the bad games. What if he would have thrown for 400 yards? You'd be like, oh, my bad, guys. You got to take the good with the bad. That's what you do with top guys. They're going to have bad games. Mahomes had a shit game 2 weeks ago. Are you all over? Oh, Mahomes isn't that good. No, you're starting him every week. That's just how it is.
Kelsey's had 2 shit games in a row, too. So
yeah, Kelsey was trash. I'm not going to bench him. Trust me.
Why am I getting double teamed right now for being right?
Because the question was Tua or Gardner Minshew,
Dave,
not Tua or Mahomes.
Dave, did you see the yesterday's show where I told everyone to trade Tua now? Trade him now.
No, I did not. But I saw your little clip on TikTok, I think.
So he saw the show.
So he saw the show. Perfect.
I guess
do you agree with that?
He saw the important part.
Do you agree with that?
I mean, like it's not a bad take if you can get something good for him.
If you want to go watch our awesome takes on TikTok, go ahead and follow our TikTok page. Justin, what is our TikTok name?
OUSFFPOD.
Just like it is on X,
Easy.
Just like it is on Instagram.
You can also find shorts on YouTube can you guess?
OUSFFPOD. Yep. So it's all in the description below. Our Discord, which is down there, our Twitter, everything you can find. That's why I want to get to, because we are making short videos now for our short takes. So Dave, try not to talk over me when I'm making an important take today. All right, this is for the studio.
Because that makes it better when I talk. It makes it better.
Oh, you
my God,
jackass!
How much? First of all, I don't even have to know. I don't have to ask this question. It's a rhetorical question. Guarantee you guys didn't have as much fun yesterday as you have in the first 3 minutes of the show today, because I'm here.
I mean, this show started off hot.
I am blown. This guy knows how to use the word rhetorical correctly. I am blown. Congratulations! It's like a cornucopia of vocabulary, David.
I like to keep you guys on your toes. I like everyone to think that I'm just this dirtbag, and then I just throw every now and then I just throw something out to you. You say everyone's surprised. So
unbelievable,
right here. What if I just started every show like this?
I'll get my sunglasses too. Let's do it.
There's a TikToker out there that has the really, really douchey sunglasses, and
there's the podcaster out there named PFT or PMT or whatever the hell.
Oh, he doesn't wear sunglasses.
Yeah, the biggest one in the world. This is rip that guy's gimmick off. Why not? Who knows?
The only thing is, like, you can see my screen, then Dave can see my notes.
Yeah, Dave's all about the facts.
I can't read that. My eyes aren't that good.
Anyway, we are going to get into the starts and sits decisions. We are, by the way, we are live betting. Florida's live in betting now. We're allowed to do it.
Hell yeah!
So we have bet placed, and we're
welcome
watching
to the future, guys.
We got a big
I've only been able to
parlay
do that
going
for
on.
years.
Yeah,
Justin,
the entire world has, except for Florida.
Justin, you can't even buy marijuana.
That's correct. We do
So,
live in 1950.
So who's living in the 18th century?
Anyway, let's get right into it. No news, no notes. Right into the debates. Right into the fun ones. Dave, do you even know who we're talking about?
No. What is that noise? Is that from my house?
Oh my God, there's a ghost.
Who's doing that?
He's saying, "Trade to
that Ella?" Don't tell her to turn that down if she is. I don't know what's going on. There's music coming from upstairs, I guess. I thought that I was in like a horror movie or something. I don't know.
Party house. All right, I guess we'll answer.
No, I don't have any idea of what we're talking about today.
Okay, we will answer Hunter's question. Am I crazy for trading Pittman for Smith?
Is that Devontae Smith?
Jonnu.
I would probably
Who else?
I might take Pittman.
Arthur Smith.
Who else?
Oh God, F that guy.
Is there any more Smith? We covered all the Smiths.
I don't.
It's gotta
Steve
be Devontae Smith.
Is that all the Smiths?
He said
No,
yes.
There's got to be more Smith.
He said yes. So I'm
Thank
assuming
you for Geno Smith.
Geno Smith.
Ooh.
I think I might take Pittman, and I hate saying that.
Irv Smith.
But Smith's been up and down a lot.
D. Smith.
Pittman's getting a lot of targets.
I
don't hate it. I think it's an even trade, but I don't hate it. If you, especially if you need a guy. I know Devontae Smith's off this week, so I don't hate the deal.
I don't hate the deal either. But what I do hate is this matchup right here: Trevor Lawrence or C.J. Stroud. Dave already admitted he has no idea who we're talking about, so it's gonna be all fresh in his mind. Dave, right off the bat, who you starting this week?
Oh, I was going to tell you, just maybe from future reference. There on the bottom of the screen, you can put Trevor Lawrence versus San Francisco versus SF, Stroud versus. That way, we kind of have a little bit of idea. You know what I mean? Listen, I like to contribute every now and then.
First, I don't here telling me to get the shop up. Not only buy merch. Now he's like, make this graphic different.
Listen, I'm sure with all the stuff you do, it's amazing. Add a couple extra little letters in there, it won't hurt you. You know,
I tried that actually the first week and it didn't work out. So
no,
I guess I'll figure it out, Dave. Just
I like to know because I don't know who Stroud plays. I know Lawrence plays San Francisco, but I don't know who Stroud plays. So I need a little bit of help here.
Look, this is a real life situation right here for Hunter. Trevor Lawrence or CJ Stroud.
Cincinnati, Dave. They're playing Cincinnati.
So Stroud is in Cincinnati. Lawrence is at home against San Francisco.
This is really close. I think I'm going with Trevor Lawrence. I'm still going to go with Trevor Lawrence.
Before we move on, just one last comedy act and we're moving on to serious talk. On the Twitter chat this morning, goal! In the Twitter chat this morning, nice. I gave 4 or 5 players at each position and who they played.
Okay. He did.
Just pay attention.
I don't look at half of that chat. You guys were just going on about.
And then we also said Lawrence.
And then you keep going. And then we're talking about fantasy trades, and then shit gets lost. I don't have time to go read all over y'all's little. Okay. This guy.
Dave needs an office job.
Dave does. I'm sorry. I have a real life job. Sorry, guys.
So you are leaning Lawrence. You said.
I think so. Correct. I think everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, I gotta chase those points from Stroud." But let's be honest, the last couple weeks before this week, he wasn't as amazing. Like, you know, he beat the Bucs. Like, yeah, okay, great. But people are going to be like, people are going to see Stroud that, he just won player of the week and he threw for 5 touchdowns. Great. Slow down a little bit. Cincinnati's playing they just shut down Josh Allen. Cincinnati's back. To me, they might be the best team in the AFC right now. Them and the Chiefs are going to be I think they're going to be in the AFC Championship game. You know, you don't want to play Cincinnati right now. And I think, San Francisco's defense isn't playing great either. I'm going to go with Lawrence. I think it's close, though, but that's who I would roll with.
Yeah, this is a tough match. If you look at the last 3 games, it's very skewed because of Stroud's 42-point game, making him QB9 over the last 3 weeks. Lawrence, he's QB 22. However, if you go back 2 games before the last week, we're looking at 15 points and 13 points against Carolina for Stroud. Lawrence had 16 and 18, and then 16 again. He's very consistent. Lawrence is 16, 17, 18 points right there. Stroud's all over the board. Which Stroud are you going to get? And like Dave said, Cincinnati's back. It's no joke. That defense is killer. Yeah, San Francisco also has a killer defense. That's what makes this QB matchup interesting because they're 2 good quarterbacks playing against 2 really, really good defenses. I sadly would have to go with Lawrence over this one.
And that is the topic of the day. That's the theme of the day. Very, very tough defenses. That's why I'm glad we chose these. This one's very difficult for me as well. It's going to be difficult because Trevor Lawrence is playing against an elite team. And the Bengals are also an elite team. So, I mean, come on. But we expect the Jaguars to be in the playoffs and compete with these elite teams. So we expect Trevor Lawrence to actually step it up and hit his Calvin Ridleys and hit his Christian Kirks and Evan Ingrams on a more consistent basis. It's going to be a closer game. So therefore, there might be more impactful plays later on in the game rather than teams just running the ball out, clocking it out, like we may assume with Cincinnati. They may just have the whole 4th quarter to themselves to clock it out, and Stroud doesn't get much on the field because he's going 3 and out. You know, I do take better offenses in account, obviously, when I start my fantasy players. But on the flip side, Stroud could be down 21-0 in the first quarter, and then he has to throw the ball 56 times. That's also an option. And we've seen Tank Dell, we've seen Nico Collins, and we've seen Noah Brown now go off. They have. We really haven't seen that other offense hum over there in Jacksonville. They've had it a couple of times against Indianapolis. Other than that, they've been very, very, very mid. They have been very, very not good on offense. And they've actually relied on Travis Etienne more often than their passing game. That's the only thing that scares me about Trevor Lawrence is, do they get off the pass? Do they not generate enough points? Is this going to be a low scoring, 14-22 game, something stupid like that? Whereas on the other side, I can see fireworks. I'm leaning Stroud. I'm not saying I'm going to go him, but I'm leaning. Yeah, I am. I'm going to go him. You know why? Because I'm going to ride the hot, bottle, lightning in a bottle. I'm going to ride the hot hand. This guy is coming off a career game. He may never have a game like that again, ever in his life. I'm going to ride it versus someone who's been mid all season long, who has never had a Stroud game like that. Never. So that's why I'm going Stroud.
Okay.
But it's like, what if one guy scores 16.7 and the other guy 14.2? Like, it's that close. It's probably the closest one.
I don't see this one right here, Hunter. I think Cincinnati and Houston is going to be a shootout. We also thought that about the Bengals and Bills, and that was not a shootout as everybody thought it was. Jamar Chase is also hurt. His back's got issues again. Higgins, we know, still has the rib issue. That's getting better. So I don't think it's going to be as electric as it should be. And that's all I got to say.
Cincinnati has a very slow-moving offense, as in they don't run a lot of plays in the game. They are very, very slow. They take up the entire clock. You don't see much motion out of that team. You don't see much hurry-up offense. You just see kind of bland, boring football that kind of works. I actually said in our group chat, not with you, Justin, but with our other guys, I would bet the Bengals. This is before live betting happened. I said I would bet the Bengals will win the Super Bowl right now if I was allowed to bet, or if I had money or something like that. And I still do think that. I think the Bengals are probably the hottest team in the league right now, and I do think that they're going to be awesome. But I'm still leaning Stroud because of the upside of maybe 50. Yeah, your team. Maybe 50 passing attempts is in our future. All right. Who is next on this one, guys? Who's the next? Who's a running back battle?
Can Dave guess?
Can Dave guess? Dave, who do you think our running back battles between?
Alexander Madison and Bijan Robinson.
Damn, that's close.
And that's a really good one.
I'd take Madison.
That's a really good one. I would take Madison too, actually.
Tony Pollard versus Jonathan
This
Taylor.
is easy. Come on. You got to do better than this.
Tony Pollard versus New York Giants. Jonathan Taylor at New England in Germany. And I think that's a key point in Germany.
I don't care where they're at. I'm taking Taylor. He's getting to work. Pollard's not doing anything. I'm okay with playing Giants. That doesn't mean he might not go off. I get it. You're just not going to convince me that you should start Pollard over Taylor. Sorry. Go ahead.
I 100% agree. I'm glad this podcast has come around on Jonathan Taylor over the last couple of years. It's been a long road for some of you on this podcast, Josh. But yeah, Jonathan Taylor's RB7 since coming back over the last 3 weeks. We all know Pollard's been pretty trash since week 3, pretty much. This one's easy for me. It's Taylor. I don't even care that the New York Giants suck and they got rid of Leonard Williams. Pollard's not featured in that backfield anymore. He's got a total of 39 touches over the last 3 weeks. That's not good for a lead back.
No, it's not.
To say there?
You guys are hitting it on the head. There is one concern I do have is Dallas. I'm sorry. That's who the Colts. That's who the Colts play, correct? Dallas.
New England.
Jesus
Dallas plays.
Yeah, you know what would help?
I'm looking at the star.
If you had a little graphic on there that said Jonathan Taylor versus New England.
I'm looking at the star and I'm like,
oh, Johnson knows it all, right?
Hey, you know what helped, Justin? You know what helped, Justin? If I saw the teams below their names, so I know who they're playing. Because I'm
that would be very helpful, right?
No, I was looking.
You know what would help? People making graphics.
Like, yeah, I'm not good at it.
And spell checking and double checking.
Spell checking would be nice.
I
had a spell check error today on Twitter. And you had a spell check. You had a couple spell check errors today. It's fine. We're fine.
I made those yesterday, so it's fine.
Yeah, we're fine. Yeah, Taylor is the easy one for me. We see the snap share go up from 15.4, 43.6, 52.9, 60.6, and then last week 77.6. Zach Moss has been completely phased out. Jonathan Taylor is the lead back. Plus he's getting targets. Don't he's the lead back. What is Zach Moss?
No. I'm saying Zach Moss is not getting phased out. That is, if you watch the Colts games, they're very much both in
77%. That doesn't leave a lot left over for Zach Moss.
And who's texting me every Sunday saying, why is Jonathan Taylor not running the ball on the goal line?
On the goal line. It's super frustrating.
That's so annoying.
It's not phased out, in my opinion.
It's beyond frustrating. So I guess it's not phased out. It's like the Jamal Williams, but he's not converting. Zach Moss isn't converting. And that's
neither is the Colts offense. So
Zach Moss isn't good. It's just like Atlanta. Like, what are you doing, guys? You got Jonathan Taylor, use him. What is Atlanta doing with Bijan? We don't get it.
It's more of like what they're doing with Shaq Leonard. They're phasing him in slowly so that they don't re-aggravate an ongoing issue, so it doesn't become a permanent issue. I don't hate it. The Colts have nothing to play for, in my opinion, this year, and they're doing the season correct. They have no quarterback. They have no number 2 wide receiver. Their running back missed the first 4 weeks of the game. They're missing a defensive lineman. They have no cornerback, period, except for Kenny Moore, who actually has the second most touchdowns for the Panthers. It's just why risk it?
He's getting work. It's fine. I just want to see him score touchdowns.
Yep, there is a team over there in Minnesota, they just lost their quarterback, but they have a stud in Josh Dobbs. Like
Josh Dobbs was superstar.
Don't make excuses.
What a fucking that guy's got balls to steal.
That guy's awesome. I love that you're a big fan
like
now.
Him.
I love that Dave's a big fan.
He's
great.
Awesome.
I think
like when you hear the story, you see the videos, you watch the stuff.
The video is
just
so
like
cool.
I remember watching the game. I was so annoyed. I was like, "This is the worst game ever." They were literally run, pass on 3rd and long. And then once you come out, and I was just like, "What are we doing? Like, give the guy a chance." When you hear the stories about how he literally didn't know half the players, he did not know the playbook. He didn't take one rep all week because Hall had to get ready, and he hasn't played all year. So it's not like he was, the backup and getting ready. He had nothing. He had guys telling him the routes in the huddle, like confirming the routes. He had O'Connell in his ear. Like when you hear all this, you're just like, wow, how did he pull it off? It's amazing. Like, I don't care if he's a Viking or not. That's an awesome story. You just got to be blown away by it. So yeah, I mean, I'm pretty hyped about it. I don't think he's better than Cousins, any of that stuff. I think it was really cool to see. It was amazing.
He's the Case Keenum.
It was crazy.
Minnesota Vikings.
We have 2 different crazy viewpoints on this story. I love it. I think it's awesome. But my point is, Dave already knows because he heard my stupid.
Yeah, because you're an idiot.
How dumb? First off, no offense to anyone, no disrespect. How dumb are NFL players that they can't grasp playing a game? And Josh Dobbs makes it look so easy. It shouldn't be this hard. It's just football. It shouldn't be this hard.
It makes you really wonder how bad is Zach Wilson. Like,
it makes me wonder how dumb players are that they can't figure out.
Well, he didn't have the play. We talked about. He didn't know the playbook. He had guys telling him like,
yeah. So how hard is it
in the huddle?
Yeah,
for someone. How hard is it for someone to
if he wasn't as athletic as he was, we would get blown out.
Yeah.
Like blown out. So that helped a lot. If he was just a regular guy who, his scrambling ability really, he picked up so many first downs and the touchdowns and that helped so much. So that's a little bit different. But still, it is amazing. God damn it.
Toronto gets scored on?
No, yes. They just tied it up and now they freaking gave up a goal.
So,
but anyways.
Wide receiver
right here.
Jonathan Taylor's the pick there easily. Okay, wide receivers. We have T. Higgins, old baby back, broken ribs, T. Higgins versus old Mr. Old and busted Devontae Adams. Dave, do you know who these guys are playing? We just spoke about one team.
Well, I know Higgins is playing apparently the Texans, who don't give up 100-yard receivers apparently.
Hey, do not step on my research, Dave.
Then don't post it.
I had to give a teaser out there for everyone.
Don't you want me to tell you? I don't know who Vegas plays.
Oh, God.
Who do they play? I would know if there was a graphic showing me.
They play the Jets.
Yeah, Jets. Safe.
Oh, and they still got that quarterback. Man, I think it a little bit depends on if Chase plays or not. I have a hard time benching Adams, even though he's been bad. But man, and Higgins looks like, I don't know, man. They're back, like we just talked about. I think Cincinnati's back, and I think Higgins is going to be a big beneficiary. He was really good last week. If Chase is out, I think it's a slam dunk. If he's in, it might still be closer because God, Vegas, I don't know what their issue is. They blew the team out, and Adams didn't do anything. Like, he's not getting targets. He's not getting work. I don't understand it. He's too good to be this bad. Probably Higgins. I don't know. Like, Adams is bad right now.
So Adams is actually getting targets 12, 7, and 7 over the last 3 weeks. However,
7 is not that much for him.
I know.
Sorry.
But he's only caught 6, 1, and 3 out of those targets. So what, 10 catches out of what, 26 targets?
That's what I'm saying.
Good. And that also goes with the quarterback. If you can't get the ball to your best player, things aren't going to be good. So that's a concern.
I mean, it's not like they got a guy like Josh Dobbs quarterbacking out there.
That's true.
You know?
That's true. So since Dave wanted to step on my research, the Texans are number 4 against fantasy wide receivers this season. They do shut down receivers. As I'm going to go through this list, I'm going to say it slowly and surely so I don't mess up or typo my words. Week 1 against the Ravens, they allowed Zay Flowers 9 catches, 78 yards. Week 2, the leading receiver for the Colts was Pittman, 8 catches, 56 yards.
Okay, hold on real quick. No, go ahead. Keep going.
Week 3, Evan Ingram, 7 catches, 67 yards. Week 4, this is the funniest one. Najee Harris was the leading receiver for the Steelers, 1 catch, 32 yards. And I just threw in there, Pickens had 3 catches for 25. Week 5, Kyle Pitts, Mr. Tight End 1, had 7 for 87. Week 6, this one was close. Olave had 7 for 96. Week 8, Thielen had 8 for 72. And last week against Mike Evans, the Buccaneers, 4 for 87. They do shut down the top option on that offense, on whatever offense that they play against, except for, I guess, week 3, Ingram's not really the top option, but you get my point. So is this going to be, but I did look. I didn't write these numbers because, guys, I didn't have time. But I did see, and I will put the stuff on Twitter, the wide receiver 2 wasn't even close to being good on any single matchup. And Higgins is the wide receiver 2. So I do expect him to shut down Chase. But does that leave room for Higgins? I don't know, man. I really don't know. On this list that I just named, there was a lot of tight ends on this list. Is this a big game are we going to see a big game from Irv Smith? Are we
okay, I was about to say.
Are we going to see a big game from Tyler Boyd, who is their third option? That's what I'm going to be talking. That's what I'm going to be looking for. These numbers are pretty alarming. It's kind of crazy to me that this is real life, but this kind of scares me about T. Higgins and this Jamar Chase offense against Houston. Are they going to get up big and just run down the ball? Are they going to run Joe Mixon? Is that what's going to happen? If that's the case, then Higgins is kind of irrelevant for the second half. On the other hand, you have Devontae Adams going against the number 1 ranked fantasy against the wide receivers. They've only allowed 1 touchdown all season to wide receivers. 1. That's insane to me. It's insane. Devontae Adams has had 4 single-digit fantasy points in the past 5 weeks. We already know. Devontae Adams is not getting targeted. He's not catching balls. He's not getting quality targets. I'm still going to roll with Higgins, but my expectations are a little bit lower than last week's. Last week's was awesome. Hopefully he gets a touchdown. Hopefully he does do something, and hopefully they just focus on Chase, and Higgins can get loose. That's what I'm hoping for.
Well, real quick, all the guys you just said, they might not get 100 yards, but they all had really good fantasy days. Mm-hmm. All of them. So I'll take 7 for 83 and without a touchdown. That's 15 points. 7 for 90 yards. I'll take that all day long. Most of them are getting 6, 7 catches for 80 something. Like, that's fine with me. If Higgins gets that, I'm perfectly fine with it. So they're not. I wouldn't say, now that you think about it, they're not shutting guys down. They're not giving up 150-yard games. They're not giving up big touchdown games. But they're still letting the top guys get work, and I'm perfectly fine with the numbers that you just said on almost all of those guys.
The Texans are just avoiding the big play. That's what's keeping these guys down, is they're not allowing the big play to get over the top of them to get out of a game quickly, because that changes momentum. But they're also not stopping the short plays. The linebackers are stopping those. So yeah, like Dave said, they're getting those short passes, but those add up in PPR. So I'll take that all day if you can get a lot of targets, a lot of receptions. Yeah, you get 60, 70 yards, but Like you said, 7 receptions and 70 yards is still 14 points.
I do want to bring this up. The top targets on the top names are the top targets, like Evans, Thielen, Olave. Not so much Pitts or Najee. Those are, that's never going to happen again. But Ingram, Pittman, Flowers, these guys are all top targeted guys. Chase is the top targeted guy.
But you also got to think, and I don't know, going through the whole list, how many of these teams really have a really good, solid number 2 receiver? I know the Saints don't. Flowers, there's
Actually,
really no. I mean, maybe if you include.
Shaheed was the closest. He had 89 yards that game. So Olave had 96. Shaheed, so he was the closest. Everyone else was.
And he's not even that good. Like that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying. Like I mean, maybe the Bucks. I know Godwin had a terrible game. He's a solid number 2. But a lot of these teams don't have a great number 2.
Yeah, Drake London though.
Most of these teams don't have
Ridley.
I mean Jacksonville. I'm just saying. Like I think Higgins is a great number 2, and again, I just think Cincinnati, man. I really like what they're doing. They seem to be back.
Yeah.
Adams isn't getting targets. I mean, and whether or not Chase is there, I might start Higgins right now, to be honest. But I think just because Adams is a big name, he's got a chance to blow up at any given time. But it ain't happening right now.
Higgins has gotten better every week. Adams
Finally
is getting worse each week. So I'm going with Higgins.
Going with Higgins. We're all the
same. We do have a couple questions here for you guys, though. Okay, let's start with. God, where'd it go? Oh, right there. Start 2. Garrett Wilson, Amari Cooper, Deontay Johnson, or Nico Collins.
Dave needs to know who they're playing.
I like Garrett Wilson. I'm not starting Collins. I might start Deontay over Cooper, but that's close.
Garrett Wilson and Deontay Johnson.
I think so too.
Johnson
I hope that Deontay, because he looked great last week. Hopefully, these guys realize how good he really is. Pickens ain't that guy. Cooper's relies on touchdowns and kind of big plays. So I'd probably go Deontay Wilson.
Start one in PPR, Najee or Chuba.
Najee's the worst, man. Najee is the absolute worst. He scored 15.8 points in my league that I played against him, but only because he scored a touchdown. This guy is not reliable at all.
He's not. I don't know who Carolina plays, but
I'll figure that out because I don't know who Carolina plays either. I'll take that one. Carolina plays. Who does Carolina play? Oh, Chicago Thursday night. Ugh.
You know
revenge
what?
game. We talked about that revenge game.
Yeah.
Go with Hubbard, man, because Najee sucks, dude. Najee, he's terrible. I'm sorry, he is. He's so bad, so bad. He had a good game last week, but Warren's getting a lot of work too. If he doesn't score a touchdown, I don't think he's that good. But I'm tempted to start Hubbard.
Najee's so annoying. That's it. He's just so annoying. He's the Walmart version of Zeke. You'll get a lot of volume, but you won't get the yards per carry. You're still going to get the goal line work, and it sucks. And Warren's over there. But Warren's over there looking explosive.
I know. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'd probably start Najee because
he's Najee. Because he was drafted in the first round. You know he's going to get volume.
Probably.
And he might fall into the end zone. You're right.
Yeah.
Like your thought process is correct. Because Chuba, they could easily get away from him. Easily.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing is you don't know. He's not established enough to guarantee that work. Joe Burrow. I'm still going with Burrow for sure. One, I feel like we talked about it already. 2, I kind of want to see Kyler. I want to see him play. I'm starting him in a league or 2 because I have to, but I want to. I mean, he's been off for a year. Let me go with Burrow for sure.
So for the audio listeners out there that doesn't understand what Dave is saying, the next question was Kyler Murray or Joe Burrow.
I'm starting Kyler in a league this week.
Me too.
Because I have 2 on bye.
I have him in a best ball, and thank God, because I'm down to Tommy DeVito or something like that as my quarterback.
I also traded Kyler in a Superflex redraft this week. I traded him. I could not wait. I offered him every week. I offered somebody a trade, and finally when he was active, which is nice. I guess that boosts his value. I was able to get CMC in a Superflex.
Oh, that's trash. You showed us that trade.
Next question before the tight ends.
Our home league with Jansport and the one you weren't invited to.
Oh yeah,
because they hate you. Saquon or Khalil? Oh my God, is this even a question?
2-3-4, 2-3-4, 2-3-4. Come on, man.
Damn,
Saquon, buddy.
Man.
You're better than that.
Is Khalil even going to play? I mean, he's in his 21-day window, but he's still technically on the IR, and he hasn't been officially listed as active. And they play tomorrow. So
Saquon.
What's the next matchup? What do we got next?
Tight ends.
Cade
Ooh.
Otton, or Jake Ferguson. Now, David, if you didn't know, the Buccaneers are playing
Tennessee.
Yep, Tennessee. And Jake Ferguson is playing.
God damn it.
Are you
Fucking
asking me?
Ottawa.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. They're playing the Giants.
The New York Giants, yeah.
Yeah, we already talked about Tony Pollard, so we should know about that. Did they score again?
Ottawa just went up 3-2.
Wow.
I was wrong before. I thought they were up 3-2 already, but it was replay.
This is the worst. This is the worst. Anyway.
Why did I listen to you?
You didn't listen to me. I didn't say, Dave, you got to play this parlay, bro. I just posted,
you posted it, and you made me want to go bet it.
Hey, man, we're back. We're back. We're so freaking back. That's all I gotta say.
Go ahead. I'll let y'all talk.
Cade Otton or Jake Ferguson, tight end position. This is real because some of you, like myself, are missing Kelsey. We're missing Kelsey big time. I think there's 3 big tight ends off.
Goddard's out. Well, he's off.
Well, he's off. Well, he's out for IR.
There's somebody else.
I believe
we're missing. Yeah, Goddard. We're missing just Kelsey and Goddard.
No, we're missing one more. We're missing one more.
Miami and Los Angeles.
Yeah, Higbee. Come on, duh. Higbee. We all know Higbee's a stud, bro.
Higbee hasn't done shit this year. You sold everybody on Higbee this year, and he hasn't done shit.
That's because Puka. Because if Puka didn't step up, it'd be Higbee. But Puka's that good.
His highest game was 13 points in week 3.
Hey, would you guys trade away Puka Nacua for Jalen Waddle in Dynasty?
1,000,000%.
Yeah,
it's not even. I'm not even hesitating.
What about in a deep 32-man league with IDP and there's very limited spots and very limited players? Would you trade Allen Lazard and Puka for Jalen Waddle?
Yes. I don't care about Lazard. He's irrelevant.
But I'm telling you,
I get it. You're probably starting bums.
The worst of the worst.
I understand, but Lazard is the worst of the worst. You're not losing anything there. Let's be honest.
Cade Otton, Jake Ferguson.
I'm probably keeping Waddle. Someone offered me that. I'm keeping Waddle. Anyway.
Yeah, keep Waddle. That's what I'm saying.
I am.
Anyway. Otton versus Tennessee. Ferguson versus New York.
Do I get to go first?
Giants.
Do I get to go first?
Josh, go.
Let's go. Yes. Okay. So Cade Otton, he's a guy that I've been targeting this waiver wire until I did my research, and now I want to drop him. Since week 7, though, Otton has been the tight end 7 in all PPR formats. He's been very highly targeted by Baker Mayfield. But Tennessee ranks number 2 against the tight ends. They only give up 8.21 points per game against the tight end in PPR. That's not very good at all. And they're the only team in the NFL right now currently that has never given up a touchdown to a tight end this season. So they have locked down the tight end position. Otton has averaged 7 targets per game in the last 3, but he only averaged 3.4 a game from weeks 1 to 6. So he's clearly into the offense now. They have installed him into the packages. He has become a favorite from Baker Mayfield. Otton has run the 7th most routes in the league at the tight end position, so he is definitely on the field a lot. But he's only getting a 14% target share. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and the other guys do dominate that. On the other side, Jake Ferguson ranks number 3 overall. The Giants rank number 3 overall against the tight end. So we're going against the number 2 and number 3. Every single matchup this week has been against tough defenses, and that's kind of cool. Jake Ferguson's been the tight end 5 out of 9 times this year. He's been a tight end 1. That's insane. Top 12 guy in 5 weeks out of 9. And I know you're doing this, and no, it's true. I looked it up. I didn't typo that. But the first game against the Giants, he only went 2 for 11, but that was his first ever game ever. And he's also 2nd in the league in red zone targets at the tight end position. This one's tough. You go a guy who's been hot in Otton and a guy who's been doing it all season long at Jake Ferguson, but going against a very difficult defense. I'm going Ferguson here. I'm going Ferguson because of the red zone targets. I'm going Ferguson because of the opportunities and the consistency. He's been doing it all season. Whereas Otton's just now getting hot, and they can easily be phased out easily with Big Mike and Chris Godwin. Whereas, you have CD and who else? A bunch of Brandon Cooks, Jake Fergusons. They just signed Martavis Bryant. There's just so many secondary guys there. Whereas in Tampa, you have 2 alphas. And that's why I'm going Jake Ferguson.
I agree with Ferguson. I know he's had a couple of good weeks in a row, too. You're right. They don't have any options in Dallas. It seems like he's getting red zone targets, like you said. So, I like Otton. I picked him up in a league or 2 to start this week. I know I have Kelsey in a couple of leagues. So, I don't have an issue starting him. I don't care who he's playing. I just want the targets, and maybe he'll get lucky. But I still would go with Ferguson.
Justin, you're just not. You agree?
It's across the board, Ferguson.
Yeah, it's not an easy one. It's not a slam dunk. I mean, it's definitely there's a world where Ferguson doesn't get any targets and Pollard has a breakout game.
I just think the Titans, they currently have something to actually play for now with Will Levis being named the starter, so they think their season's back on. The Giants are packing it in. Like, what do they have to play for? Literally nothing. They don't have anything. So. Yeah.
Do you think they'll get the number one? If they get the number one pick,
no, but they're going to be a top 5 pick probably.
Do you think they'll draft a quarterback and get rid of Jones at this point?
They should. They were dumb enough to give that guy $40 million last year off of 2 games against the Vikings, who could not stop me and you out there. He literally had 2 good games at the end of the season. He played decent. I get it, whatever, but he balled out against the Vikings twice, and that guy made money off of 2 games. So I think that they'd be dumb to not draft another guy, but I don't know what they're gonna do with all that money. Or maybe maybe that Daniel Jones start and the rookie come in after they realize he still sucks and get rid of him. I don't know.
Who knows, man? Who knows? That's fantasy football. But yeah, we got any more questions in the chat? Because we're out of content over here. We ran through our list. We checked it twice.
23423.
His name is Dave.
No, his name is 23423233423.
Definitely
That's
Dave.
my guy.
But in case you guys didn't know, I'll just do some cheap plugs while we wait for Justin to play the music.
Oh.
We are doing a fantasy. We are doing a Friday show now. It kicks off this Friday. It's going to be at noon. I told Justin I will never do a third show unless I can do it at work.
Except for this Friday.
But I'll still be doing it at work. It is at 9 a.m. So we wake up, get some waffles, get some McGriddles, or Dunkin' Donuts, whatever you eat. I don't know. And join us. We're talking Dynasty Fantasy Football. I'm hoping Dave joins. Is there a possibility?
9 a.m.?
Yeah.
Get your coffee, man.
Some of us have to work.
Get your 2 chocolate frosted donuts, get your caramel frozen coffee, and join in on the OUS Fantasy Podcast because we're talking Dynasty, dude. This is what we do.
We'll see. I'm probably working, but maybe I'll hop in for a minute.
Too. I'll be working on helping you improve your Dynasty, whatever leagues. We're out of here, guys.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. Follow on X and Instagram at OUSFFPOD. We'll be back next week for more ways to win your league.